Call a special called meeting of the Gerald Economic Development Corporation Board to order at 6:30 p.m. on October the 13th, 2025. Let it be known that all members are present. Would silent invocation for let's hope that we've got some peace in the Middle East for once. So we can give a few minutes of silent prayer for that one. So. Okay, if you would, let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. All right. Don't have any form cards? Is the yellow? I got that. Okay. So, first item is the consent agenda items. Anybody have a discussion about that?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent or the minutes from the regular meeting
Okay.
as written.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Unanimous approval. Okay. Moving to the regular agenda items, we've got a presentation by Sheets and Crossfield PLLC. Gentlemen, you're on.
All right. Thank you very much for asking us here today. My name is Adam Hill. I'm an attorney at the law firm of Sheets and Crossfield, and I'm gonna let Tyler go with his presentation, and then I'll follow up.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, board members. Thank you for having us this evening. Like you said, my name is Tyler Stevens. This is Adam Hill. We're both shareholders with Sheets and Crossfield. Tonight, I want to talk to you about where we've been, some things that our firm has done. I want to talk to you about where we are as a law firm right now, some things that we've been working on, and finally, where we're going as a law firm. If you've been around Williamson County long enough, you've probably heard of us. We have represented the city of Round Rock for over 40 years, and we've done a lot of great things together with them, starting with Dell Computers, right? That kind of put Round Rock on the map. That agreement kind of set the tone for all future 380 agreements in the state. Generates a lot of sales tax revenue for the city of Round Rock. Following up after that, we had Round Rock Premium Outlets. We've got Texas State, Texas A&M, and ACC, Baylor Scott and White, Seton. We've got Bass Pro Shops. We've got IKEA, Dell Diamond, Round Rock Express, and Kalahari. Those are all agreements that our firm has been instrumental in developing, working with the city on that, and bringing those businesses into the city of Round Rock. Some more recent things we've been working on since Adam and myself joined the firm. We've got Samsung was a big one. Our firm helped Williamson County bring Samsung to Taylor. I helped Charlie Crossfield draft the 381 agreement and the 312 tax abatement agreement that helped set up that Samsung facility. And then as far as the Round Rock Type B, their EDC, I've assisted them in drafting agreements for the Switch Data Center, the Savvy Data Centers, Comico Technology, and Topan Photomask, both of which they produce semiconductor parts, parts that Samsung is going to need to operate. I am the assistant city attorney for the city of Round Rock. I'm also the city attorney for the city of Giddings and the city of Euland. Euland also has a big data center, and I hear you guys might have one coming. I think that's going to council Thursday, part of it at least. Tuesday, excuse me, tomorrow. Okay, so good luck with that, Councilmember Clausen. So where we're going, that brings us to you guys, the Gerald Economic Development Corporation. You guys have a big data center possibly coming. I hear Walmart is also possibly in the works. And then You got, I don't know how you say it, Labat? Is that-
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, the food distribution warehouse, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that, well, first, let me ask you guys, what is your vision? What do you hope to see for the city of Gerald? Do you have like an action plan?
Well, I don't want to speak on behalf of the city council, but, certainly I think we're now moving into the direction of becoming very forcibly putting a infrastructure plan in place, okay, to support the activities that you see going on. We're much like some of the other smaller cities. We've got a lot of growth, but we don't necessarily have a lot of pipes and stuff to support where everything is going. So and I don't want to step you, jump on whatever you want. So a lot of what we're looking for is ensuring that we have legal counsel that allows us as the EDC, okay, to undertake projects that support what the city had determined it wants to put in place. Now, some of that means we're in the forefront because we need to know what's coming. We're going to take to council all the different numbered scenarios, but you're going to tell us which ones we can do and not.
Sure.
And at the same point in time, figure out what we can fund in the current status that we've got. So we need legal counsel from our end, okay, as to what kinds of things can we aggressively do as an EDC board, okay, that doesn't necessarily create a tripwire for a regulatory agency to come down and, because we know we have to move fast. There is a lot of stuff happening here. Council's dealing with a lot of stuff. We have got, the capability and the need to start doing things for the city and in many different places. So I don't want to jump too far, but you'd mentioned that you were working with some other groups as legal counsel.
Yes, sir.
Do you have an affinity for groups that are bringing projects in? So, we'll talk about Occupy Austin, or do we, any of the others?
I think that we are selective about the clients that we choose. Our firm has about 10 attorneys right now, and there is no B team. We have one associate attorney who just passed the bar that we just hired, but other than that, we've all been practicing for several years. All of the shareholders and then the partners, they've got between 25 and 40 years of experience. So I say that because we are not overwhelmed with the number of clients that we have. We are selective, and we like to choose clients that are relatively close to Round Rock, and we like to be available for those clients. We're here for the meetings. We're always available for emails, phone calls. You name it.
I think a lot of ours is that we not only view Gerald, but we view Williamson County, because we're obviously going to get spin-off from Taylor. It's either going to be people living in here, or they're going to come over here and buy stuff. So everything that happens, we need to be aware of it, and we need somebody that's aware of what the hell Taylor's doing, so that if they do something that's going to impact us, we're ahead of the ball game.
I read the Austin Business Journal every week, so that I'm up to date on all of that. And Adam has a great relationship with the county commissioners. I'll let you talk about that.
Absolutely. So I hear what you're saying, and I think that one of the things that's important that our firm brings to the table is we are local. I went to Leander High School. I went to Baylor for undergraduate, and I drove from Leander using Ronald Reagan Boulevard to get to Baylor. So I actually got my first speeding ticket in Gerald. Very fond memory of having to go to work to pay the city of Gerald. And I just say that to say that when you work and you grow up in the place that you intend to build your future in, it matters to you, in my opinion, just a little bit more than just being just another let me clock in and then clock out. So it matters to us on a personal level. We live in the cities that we represent, and that's important to us. Now, as it pertains to what's happening, there is no one that knows more about Williamson County than Charlie Crossfield. He has had his finger in every single pie, and my goal in the rest of however many years God gives me is to become the next Charlie Crossfield. And I just like to say that because you got to have good relationships with everybody, no matter if they're sometimes doing what you don't want them to do, or being, not great partners. That's okay. You still have to maintain that relationship, and that's what Sheets and Crossville brings. Is we have relationships with all of the participating cities that are located in Williamson County, and those that are outside of Williamson County that want a lot of the things that you're talking about, but aren't located in Williamson County. So my personal experience has been a little further south. I represent Medina County and a lot of their economic development work for mainly right now data center developments, but also other types of developments. And really, I think what you said was crucial. Medina is looking for the infrastructure in place to keep track with the growth that's happening. I always like to say, you want to be a part of the process, you don't want to be a victim of it. And so right now, I moved to Leander in 2003. I saw Leander go from like 25,000 to 88,000 people. My dad was involved in local politics. And so I know what it's like.
You need to
Yes, sir.
describe the position that your dad held.
Sure. So he was a city council member from 2015 to 2018, and then was the mayor of Leander after that and that term, and now is the city manager of Lampasas. And so we're committed to Central Texas. That's where I'm raising my family and intend to be for the rest of my life. And but just going back to it, I think, if I could be so bold, and obviously I think Tyler and I share the same sentiment that our job is to effectuate what the representatives of the city of Gerald want in place. That's our primary job. But if you were to ask me, Adam, what's your opinion? Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Gerald is at a crossroads right now, and the growth is coming whether or not you like it or not. And so I think the primary thing that we can offer you is the experience that Sheets and Crossfield gained in seeing the development of Round Rock and Georgetown and Cedar Park, but also the hunger of mainly younger attorneys that want to be involved in that growth process, and not just growth, but responsible and controlled growth. I think that's the primary thing, is when you know it's coming, it's how can we make this benefit and be shaped by the people that are already in the city. So I think that's what we kind of bring to the table.
Anybody else?
I think we've done good. And for me, is when I got on this board, I see a lot of things that I question. Are we in compliance with the type A or are we not?
Yeah.
And so that triggered me to say, I think we need to hire somebody just to make sure that, I'm not saying anything done in the past was right or wrong. I don't know for sure. If I read it, I've served as an EDC director. I've been a city council member, and I just some of the things are great me. And before we get into something that can harm this corporation, I would like to know that we have representation to keep us on track and not.
Yeah, I will say that's why we make a good team. I'm the rule follower. I'm the guy that, knows the law, and I'll make sure that we are doing everything in compliance with the law, that we're checking all the boxes, we're having all the public hearings we need to, we're posting all the newspaper notices. Adam is the more social one, and he likes to think outside the box. He gets real creative.
He and I are gonna get along fine.
Let's go play golf and talk about it, baby.
Yeah, so, and I think that's a lot of where we're at. We want to move aggressively. We've got the capability to do it. We've got the mentality to do it. We've got to a certain level of financial resources. We just need to make sure, as Tim brought up, is that we don't do a tripwire and suddenly have somebody come down here and spoil all of our plans. But on the other side, we also would need a law firm that knows we're going to be fairly aggressive at going out and making some things happen. We may not do it the way we want to do it, but you're going to tell us what way we can get it done.
Sure.
That's the way we would want it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, all right. Do you have any questions?
No.
You good?
Well said.
You guys good?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So much.
Absolutely.
Tell your dad hi for me.
I sure will. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Ian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will send Mr. Jordan both my cell phone, I think you already have it in an email, and Tyler's if you don't have it already, just in case you need to get in touch with us.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you both.
Yes,
Have a great
absolutely.
evening. Okay. All right, closing out number one, moving on to number two, discussion, consideration, possible action on developing a contract for legal services for the JEDC. So, Tim, I'm gonna lay this one on you. You were kind enough to find sheets and cross the board, so is,
You can see on the back.
What are their names?
they're both in here?
Yeah, actually, the last two, Shaw and
Yeah.
Taylor.
So, here's,
Oh,
okay, so they're in here, along, and here's Adam.
Got it.
Okay, and then of course we got the old guys up front that are in there, so.
Thank you.
So you've been an EDC before, you've got the basics for what a legal contract should look like?
Well, you know, it depends, there are different levels, and you can see on the back of the thing they gave you, so they basically is putting out an hourly rate.
Yeah.
Charge.
Good.
You don't necessarily have to have a partner, you know, there could be a paralegal that comes to a meeting,
I agree.
your cost would be minimal on the, you know. when you-
Well, we don't have to have them here every meeting either.
No.
Okay, so we did budget fairly substantially for legal services, okay? So let me ask this, would it be the intent of the board to get with this firm? Or do we just send them a letter of intent that they're going to engage them as legal counsel? Which way would it be?
Well, do we have to make a motion to approve that?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm trying to, before we make a motion, figure out which way we wanna do it,
Okay.
okay?
Well, I think we're all in agreement that we want to be sure that we have legal representation to
Okay.
help keep us within the guardrails.
Absolutely, and you find this.
I mean, they certainly spoke to not just the area and their connections, but also their background and experience, which it speaks to what we're trying to do here, so.
And the firm, I'm familiar with them, and has done excellent work. And the relationship between Winston County is one of the key things that we need to make sure we have that has a background like they do. So, is it something that we would just make a motion for a service contract? Or like kind of like a little retainer, so if we need them, we know what it's gonna be, and as going forward, something like that, which I think
And
they
they
would
would
be
be
on.
on a retainer and
Yeah.
just charge you at the
Yeah.
rates they should.
And if we need them, then these will be the fees they get charged. So I would think that we could entertain a motion for the service fees, the proposed fees from Sheets and Crossfield. Okay, that, Jim, if you would just say is that we would engage you on retainer, with cost to be per the proposed fee schedule that was in the presentation.
Is that a motion?
I would make that a motion. I move that we do that.
Okay, then I'll second that motion then.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have unanimous approval, okay? Thank you, Tim. So opportunity auction, Austin couldn't make it tonight, so we will table that one until, another time. Moving on to action item 4.4, we do have a public comment form from Mr. David Bryson.
Let me get one thing fixed up here.
Okay.
I'm here to voice a concern on my own, on P and Z, because I do sit on P and Z. But I've done a lot of research on Walmart, and I don't know that if we incorporate Walmart, that area up in there, and allow Walmart to come in here, now we absorb 1305, that main road, 3 lanes. That belongs to the city now. Schwettner Lane belongs to the city, up to the property line where it ends on the south side. So we've got to maintain that road, and we can't do it on the amount of money we're gonna get from Walmart. Paved roads cost how much a square foot? And the traffic flow from 2021, the traffic flow from TxDOT says we can experience a growth of 7.5% per year, and I know, Dr. Hicks, you're aware of that. And then the study that was done by Walmart only said 2%. Now there's a conflict here. Why? I can't figure that out. But I'm gonna tell you something else that I don't like about anything that comes into our town, in our city. And if you take our master plan, it tells us that we want to keep our small town appearance. And we want to take care of our neighbors. And if you go over there and drive down Hugh Smith Road and you look at how tall that embankment is where they put in to control the flow of runoff. I've got a picture here, and I know y'all can't see it, but you're welcome to pass it around. That's me standing right next to it on Hugh Smith Road. You can barely see Sonterra on the water tank. I tell you how tall it is, and they're going to put a 4-foot mound on top of that and a security fence. Now, how would you like to have a home or a piece of property, and that's what you get to see? And that's what one of the ladies or one of the people is going to see. That Hugh Smith Road is going to cut across. Has anybody, or has Walmart even talked to anybody and see what they're going to do to other neighbors? And you know what they told us the other night? No, we haven't contacted anybody. They're not concerned about our neighbors. And we are our brother's keeper. And we need to take care of that. Now y'all, I hear.
You got 30 seconds here.
Okay, that's good. I appreciate it. But we need to be concerned also about how fast we're growing. I wouldn't even mind if we did a moratorium on growth for a while until we got all our infrastructure caught up and everybody knew where it's at. Because we've gone way too fast. But anyway, my time's up, and if you haven't had a chance to look at the picture on that phone, I'll take my phone back. But y'all look at the drainage system that's in there right now.
Thank you, David.
Your time's up.
I know it is. I have a picture of that too, if anybody wants to see it.
Okay. All right, so the discussion is the ongoing economic growth of the city of Gerald, primarily in generating, I think the discussion's been going on earlier, generating sufficient cash flow for the government and or EDC and or any of the other bodies that we've got to make many of the improvements that we need to do infrastructure-wise, whatever that may be, water, wastewater, road, fiber cable, doesn't really make any difference. It's there because we have little, if any, capability to generate the funds that are necessary to do the kinds of things that we've talked about and the kinds of things that we would want Sheets and Crossfield to bring so that we could go out and get it. So certainly understand the emotional content of bringing stuff in here, like many of us who, lived here 27 years myself, used to seeing all the crowd, but I also recognize that at some point in time you pass a boundary level that says if you're going to, give people what they want, okay, within the city that's going to grow, then the only way you're going to be able to manage it is to have enough cash flow to be able to put those services in place. So that's why I put that one on there. It was just as a statement of general support from the Economic Development Corporation that could be passed to the city council, saying is that we would think that Walmart or any other growth opportunity that would come in here, because the city will have to manage it. Certainly the EDC is not going to manage it. That's not our function in life. But strictly from a selfish point of view, I can see where we would like to receive the funds coming out of a development like this to do the things that we think we should do to grow the city and go forward. So I think that's all that I put on that agenda, was just to see if we could come to a consensus to send to council, just saying we as the Economic Development Corporation Board do support the Walmart coming into the city of Gerald. So
I support the development. I support the city's decision. So the city's the one that's gonna have to look at the infrastructure, and if they can say that this can be done, then I'll support what the city does. Like the attorney said, the growth is gonna come whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
And at some point, neighborhoods are gonna run up against things that they don't wanna see, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. So while the city's task is gonna be to try to figure out how do you mitigate these things? How do you keep the community happy and the developers happy, and it's money, and and for a small town, and I've come from a huddle who went through all of this. It was a tiny little same thing. It's there, and there's a lot of people that fought it, but I don't know how much the city can do to stop these types of growths. I don't know that Walmart wouldn't build anyway. I don't know that they have to be annexed into the city. Maybe not, I don't know, but there's so many property owner rights now that cities have very limited ability to shut things down, so. You know, I think the best thing that the city can do, in my opinion, is work with Walmart, negotiate with them, try to mitigate as much problem, infrastructure, water runoff, whatever it is, try to figure those things out and make it a win for everybody. And if you can't, then you can't, but that's my stand on it.
Growth is hard. I was back in Leander when he said that, back in Leander in 1990, and so I've certainly seen a lot in Cedar Park area. And I remember it was hard for those who'd been in the area for so long. The infrastructure, the roads. I would travel down Cedar Park, Cypress Creek Road when it was a blacktop road. And you had to watch out for deer. And now it's a 6-lane road and businesses all the way down. Our families need a place here where they can shop, where they can work, where they can provide for their families locally. And then it provides revenue back to the city also. As you said, they have a choice. They could go outside the city limits and then there's no benefit to the city, right?
You just get the detriment, you still get the traffic, you get everything you didn't want, but you're getting no funding.
Right. So, there are pros and cons either way, and I know it's hard to let go of the small town. There's gotta be a way to protect that culture while still allowing for growth where families can work in the city. And that might be something that as the city council moves forward, there's a task force to say, how do we protect that culture? How do we continue our traditions? How do we hold on to what is Gerald while we continue to grow? Might be an answer.
Well, I would move that we provide a consensus statement from the Gerald Economic Development Corporation Board to the City Council that we support Walmart in its introduction into the city of Gerald, however the city chooses to pursue it.
Agreed.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we have unanimous for the one. Okay. Moving on to item number 4.5, discussion, consideration, possible action on a joint job description for growth and infrastructure coordinator. Okay, so I know we've been having to wrestle this for a while. I don't know how many of you took the time to read both of them. I did. I was mentioning to Tim earlier, I think that the essential skills that were in the original job description of the executive director of the Gerald Economic Development Corporation is embedded in different places in this new job description. How that's going to work, I really don't know, but I don't have a reason to say it can't work.
It can work. I think it can work. I mean, again, we'll have to see how that goes. To me, when I read this job description, it is packed. This is a lot.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very, very impressive person to meet.
I wouldn't apply for this.
Well, that was I'm waiting to meet this person.
Yeah,
because
me too. It's like, wow.
But,
So I think there's some.
and I agree with you. There's some things in there that, are probably not going to be met. I think the requirement would be when we begin the interviewing that members of the board be there to ensure that at least these people have the skills that we need, okay? I don't think we need to get into a discussion as to whether you're gonna be a junior engineer and know all of the other stuff, but you ought to know the general facets of running an economic development corporation. I mean, I'm assuming that finance is finance, whether you're working in development services or whether you're working in, that part of it doesn't bother me. There are some crossover things that are in there that are just fundamental skill sets for being in business. It's kind of a no-brainer, but I couldn't, I leave that on the city's side. They can find somebody that can come in and interview. The only thing I would ask, Tanya, is that it be agreed that we get at least one member of the Economic Development Corporation where the interviews.
I think so.
You know, because that's, as long as we know that we're getting the basic skill sets that we want out there, what you and the city ask for, you know, that's
We
great.
can ask what the committee looks like.
Yeah.
And just establish the committee that can conduct the interviews based
And-
on.
Okay, and I think that would be it, as long as we can get on and ensure whatever candidates are being interviewed have the essential skill sets that we need for an EDC person. We're certainly not gonna get into a discussion on the other 99 line items of skill sets we need to be in, and don't care.
I'll
Don't care.
definitely ask about that and let you know what that is.
Okay, that would be good. In the meantime, I would move that we accept the job description for growth and infrastructure coordinator as it stands today.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion,
Yes,
right? I'll second that motion.
Approved.
You agree? Okay. Okay, Mr. Askance.
No.
Okay, well, we'll go with it. All in favor say aye.
Can I hear though what your thinking is on it, Tim?
I think it's too much. I think you're gonna have an extremely hard time finding anybody to even apply for this. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, but can we at least see what we got, and then can we go back? It's just that we can't find nobody, and we realize that we gotta cut this back.
But what's the timeline for this? How long are we gonna wait?
Well, that was the part, we're way too late, we're $1
That's
short
what I'm
anyway, but it's,
saying,
the last verbiage I heard was that January is the hire date. So I'm assuming between now and the end of December. I'm not arguing that finding a person that can meet all of these skill sets is going to be prodigious, but it shouldn't be prodigious on our end.
But it's going to be, because our needs are attached to this. And so if they can't fill their half, then our half is gonna linger too.
Well, then I would expect our council member to
I
take
just-
that one back and going, you know, you need to come up with a more reasonable expectation, okay? Because ours is very simple, there's like 5, 6 line items in there, okay? And so it's really gonna fall on the city manager to make a decision with council. And I'm being purely selfish. As long as they meet the essential skills that we need for the Economic Development Corporation, I don't care whether they meet any of the rest of them at all.
I agree with that, but as long as they're attached at the hip, I mean, it's still the same thing. So Tanya, what do you think from where you're from?
So, you, remind me the history, who, we did this from the city or did the city and?
This is from the city.
This is from Jorge. This was, if you remember, our little joint session.
Right.
We made the
And I
decision, is
And I've
that
got all
this,
of that, so Jorge produced the entire job description
Yes.
of my question.
yes,
I do think that, it needs to be reviewed, and I think that both city and EDC need to at least identify what's critical. And then that be the hybrid of what moves forward.
okay, so what we,
I would like to table this until the next meeting.
That's fine.
And in the meantime, a
Make
couple
those
of us sit
components
with
to
them
where it would be
and
more reasonable.
give our thoughts.
It's almost 2 degrees.
It's a lot.
oh, it's more than 2. I was looking at it going, I don't know who this person is, but you know,
Yes.
I certainly want to meet them.
Almost 4
Yeah.
pages in there.
So, okay, I agree with this code. I was just trying to move something along because we've already gone
No, I understand.
5 months waiting to get something.
Well, and for me, unless somebody can show one of these positions like in Hutto or someplace else, like, I agree with everybody, it's like, this is a pretty much amazing individual right here. But until we can either somebody, like a consultant can go out there and say, hey, does this person actually exist? No, that's actually 2 people. Or yes, they do, but you bring them out of like a Dallas Fort Worth, and just,
Just
you
the
might as
one,
well up.
just the one thing in their grant writing. Grant writing is very
No,
special.
we-
yes.
And we have an engineering firm that does that for the city.
I think of, my job description is pages long, right?
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily do all of that.
Right.
What I do is I oversee all of that, but others do it, the heavy lifting, right? I wonder, because it says responsibilities, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are doing it, but they oversee it and they're responsible for it, making sure that it gets done accurately.
So that's taking the assumption then that the city's going to hire multiple people, and I don't know that that's the case. I mean, I haven't heard that. so
Well,
I
and
don't-
that's, I think, what you were referencing, right?
Yeah.
So grant writing isn't necessarily the economic or the growth and infrastructure coordinator, but it's a firm that they hire from outside, and then that's brought to this individual to move forward or revise and send back.
You know, being the horse's ass, I put it on the opposite side. If this thing goes south, we just hire somebody and go on. I mean, there's only, I don't wanna get into this thing where we're now making it go another 3 or 4 months.
Bachelor's degree in EDC, public administration. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that's your name.
Right,
So who's gonna possess all of those?
I think that was,
you're right, but they're saying that these could be additional qualifications for it. My wonder is, we keep kicking this can down the road.
yeah.
Can we get the job posted and list this, and then come back and work with the city
Potentially change this based on your reviews.
after we hear and see some of the candidates, we're able to better ascertain what needs to be revised on this.
Well, I'm on Tony's side. I just don't wanna kick this down the road anymore. I mean, it just-
So we.
Well, ultimately, it's the city's responsibility to hire this person because they're gonna report to the city manager. My part of it was, when I was reading it, is do they have the skill sets to do what we want them to do? Because we're gonna have to say, we need you to do this 308 or this 311, or we need, you know. And as long as they've got those skills and they do them in the time frame that we want, I don't really care what the city needs on the opposite side. I just don't wanna wait, have the same discussion in November and December and
Right.
January and February, and now we're a year down the road.
And Tim, you know fast growth, you know it really well.
Yeah, I know
And you
that.
know if you don't have somebody there to help in moving it forward, that things fall by the wayside. My worry is we continue to move this next meeting, and we're further back from where we need to be, and things are happening all the time. We need to get somebody in this role, and they may not possess all the characteristics, but you know those things overlap too, or we hire outside firms,
You
or
can
we
train.
develop that,
Tim?
or we develop it from within, right?
I agree 100%. I think if the city were larger, this is a personal opinion. You know, I don't feel like the staff that you have is supported. And if you put this role in, I don't know how they're going to.
And maybe this person would be helpful in pulling some of that off of them, so that they are not managing the pieces that fall to us. Or the pieces that are, because we're gonna share this with the city, some then of the workload from the city and the EDC, this person would handle. Because you're right, Tim, the city is short-staffed, super short-staffed, we can't wait another day to get this individual in here to help the city and the EDC, is my point.
Yeah.
Whether or not the wording is accurate, I mean, I think we can finesse that as we continue to go forward. But we've got to get somebody in place, at least get the job posted, and let's see what we.
I'm not opposed to posting it. I mean, I know for me, if I'm looking for a job and I saw this, I'm skipping it. I'm not, I wouldn't hit 25% of this. I mean, and even though I know economic development, this would not be for me. This is 4 or 5 jobs. That's what I see here. And so that's my concern. I'm not opposed to posting it to see what happens, but I feel like it's just gonna drag it further down.
So can we do this then? Can we make a motion then that we post the position as is with the condition that we can come back and revisit some of the aspects of the responsibilities? Would
We
that
don't
work?
get proper candidates.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, we'll
yeah,
look at
that-
the candidates. Will
okay.
that work?
All right,
Okay.
okay, so I second what.
Do you want me to formalize it?
Yeah.
I make a motion to move forward with the posting of the Growth and Infrastructure Coordinator with the understanding that the job description may be amended as we consider candidates for this role.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. If unanimous approval. All right, item number 4.6, discussion, consideration, possible action on an invoice for the Gerald Gateway project. I personally thought we killed this, but you did too?
Yeah, I thought it was killed about that. You know, it is the Gerald Gateway project, the one about the signs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
So a new invoice came in and
I'm trying to figure out what the date and what the services were provided. Because this billing period is from October of 24 to January of 25. And we paid an invoice when we first started, I thought. Because we stated also to tell Gateway they were done. We weren't doing any more work on the Gateway project for HDR. So Chris, I think I'd ask you, did Diane check to see if had we paid an invoice?
Just the one that's included in here.
But we paid this invoice?
One side, I think there's a
There's a
receipt.
check.
Okay.
I think there's a receipt along with the invoice. Yeah.
Is that what that is down at the bottom?
Check, yes, that's what I avoided.
Oh, there it is, there's 36, so we don't owe them anything.
So what are we doing?
Oh, I don't know, it just, the invoice came up and got passed to me, I asked the question, Diane, I thought we paid this. So, this has been paid and there's no action to take on it then,
Okay.
correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so I apologize to everybody, I did not see the,
Larry, there's another $1,400. The first page of the HDR. And then there was $3,700 that was paid.
I don't see one.
This one right here. This one right here, we're saying that,
1480.
1480, and we're saying on the back, this was for.
Oh, no, I'm wrong.
Coordination, project planning,
I only got
scheduling,
two pieces of paper.
development, scope for the workshop, like. Mhm. And then this is.
700.
Okay, so this is for 14,
Where's that
I
at?
don't have it.
I don't have that page.
Only I do, it's a secret. I'm just kidding. I'll share it. I'll share it.
Okay, Johnny's got it, so,
Pass it down.
all right, so,
What was it, invoice of $1,400?
from services back in January. I don't have that page in here, so, okay. Our bad.
So that's one getting paid, so that's the balance of that. That's been paid, so they said we have an outstanding balance of $1,400. Well, I approve anything, I'd like to see what they have, what they do. I don't want to approve it. I mean, I know who they are, but I don't know what they actually did.
I'm confused, because I agree, I think we had put a halt on that.
Yeah,
I think it was like the first meeting we had, we shut it down.
We did.
we wrote that one check and then said, tell them not to do anymore, so. I guess what we're asking is, we need more detail on the 1440,
Yes.
as to exactly what services were provided. Because it's still back in that February 2025 timeframe, so we're 8 months ago.
So what Tanya is saying here is that the contracted amount is,
74,000, you need to stop give that contract. Shows it's 7% complete. Contract total 74,000. Contract amount remaining 68,800.
But when we first came on board, we requested that the city secretary contact indicated this contract is dead, we're not going any further.
What was the definition of separation? Was it defined in the contract at all?
Do you
Well,
know?
I don't think it's a legal contract. That's my opinion. It's not a legal expense. It's not a legal contract.
Yeah, just reading off the invoice.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the invoice is, but I've never seen a contract with HDR. I've never seen a detail as to what was in there, what was to be provided. So,
I think I would ask if they wanted.
Christie, if you can take that along, you can ask HDR, or can you ask Diane, or you to look into our files and find out what the contract with HDR says? Yeah, because I remember when response day one. Okay. Okay, all right, so we'll table that till next meeting, and we did some review on here, okay? Moving on to item 4.7, this is my bad, some conversation was going before. Historically, whenever the EDC had passed the budget, we just gave it to the city manager, they included it with the budget for all the rest of the city, and it went on. Apparently that changed last year, I was not aware of that, and so, I'm just saying is that to make sure that no other EDC board understands, I've given a change to section 6.03, which is the part that says It goes, the very last line says, the budget shall be considered adopted upon formal approval by the corporation board. Okay, so that ended our function. And what I've added onto that one is, once adopted by the JEDC board, the growth and infrastructure coordinator or a designee will submit the budget for prompt city council approval. That way we just close the door, we approve it, we hand it to the city.
Didn't we approve the budget last?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but, in the past, before, once we approved it, the city manager would just include that in the normal city's budget approval, because there wasn't really gonna be a question.
Mhm.
Apparently, last year that changed, they required somebody from the EDC board
to
to
present
come
it.
in, present that. Tanya was kind enough in the kerfuffle that we had to present that for us and get it
Oh.
passed. And so I'm just going, let's get it clarified in our bylaws.
Got it.
So if we get this one in, then we can have council approve it, and so everybody knows that we will, once we approve our budget, okay, we will have somebody go to the very next council meeting and present.
Got it. Okay.
Okay?
That's good.
All right. So if nobody has a problem, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the changes to the bylaws as it pertains to the budget approval process.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. 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 Okay, unanimous approval. All right, moving on to the last item, which is a discussion, consideration, possible action on an invoice from Patricia Ferguson for the Labatt CCN transfer. Okay, as I understand it, this is the last payment that we need to do for the original, EDC agreement to pay Patricia to get the CCN transferred from the city of Georgetown to the city of Gerald. Okay, and that is now complete. So if we,
Can I add something to that? Because I did talk to her today. It is the last as long as PUC accepts the meets and bounds of the area that's in discussion. Sometimes, previously, some of us have dealt with them, there's a certain type of map that they require. Relationship between the city of Georgetown and Gerald, the city of Gerald was able to get them to accept the meets and bounds. It has been filed, the attorney of Labatt has been informed, so it's filed, and it's underneath review for, signature by the commissioner. The city manager was aware of this, and of course, I believe he was, should have been aware of it. So, if everything goes good with this PUC, it should be a done deal. But for some reason, they come back and want a different type of amount, which does happen, then there may be something else. But the city's good, Georgetown is good, and Labatt's good as of right now, going forward. So in a sense, this should be the last, but
if not, that's fine, it can come back,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
that has to happen.
Yeah.
This one needs to be paid, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve payment of the invoice noted to Patricia Ferguson for Labatt CCN transfer.
okay, we got a motion, do we have a second? You can. I'll second. All in favor say aye. Aye. That's unanimous, and one,
I understand.
Do you abstain or do you vote?
did you abstain?
Yes, I did.
Okay, one abstention, okay, and 3 yeas. Okay. There being no further business in front of this board, we stand adjourned at 7:18 p.m.
Okay, the library.